Hi, thank you for watching. I just thought I would make a quick video as to why the twins is so geographically important and why it is so important for Robb Stark and some of the reasons why he had to use the twins across the river and eventually back again, which leads to his death. I was recently reading A Song of Ice and Fire, and I was kind of curious as to why the twins is so important because the King's Road basically bypasses it completely. And there's also a westward running road that goes to Riverrun. Now, a lot of the maps don't show it, but the main road from Winterfell to Riverrun actually goes through the Twins. Crosses at the Twins here, through Old Stone, and in the Riverrun from the north. Now, the problem is there's two basic Lannister armies. There's Jaime Lannister attacking westward, and then there's Tywin Lannister defending the Ruby Ford. Now it's important to note that the Ruby Ford here is the only crossing of the river other than the Trident. So if you need to get down here, you need to either cross here or the Twins. Now in Catelyn 8, Robb is at Moat Cailin with his war council and his mother Catelyn, and he's discussing his strategy to move south. Now there's a couple options. He can try to defend Moat Cailin. It's a very advantageous position, but Tywin is probably not going to be stupid enough to try to attack Robb there. And Robb is given a couple plans. The Greatjohns in Catelyn 8 say that they should take the battle of Lord Tywin and try to surprise him. But the Glovers and the Karstarks feel it'd be wiser to go around his army and join up with Uncle Sir Edmure against the Kingslayer, who was attacking Riverrun. Now at this point, Edmure has not lost a battle, has not been captured, and Riverrun is not under siege yet. Robb eventually decides on the best of both worlds. He goes on to state that both plans have virtues. If we try to swing around Lord Tywin's host, we will take the risk of being caught between him and the Kingslayer. And if we attack him, by all reports he has more men than I do, and a lot more armored horse. The Greatjohn says that won't matter if we catch him with his breeches down, but it seems that to me that a man who has fought as many battles as Tywin Lannister won't be so easily surprised. So Robb decides to leave a small force at Moat Cailin and start heading south. Now, by the time we get to Catelyn 9, they're approaching the Twins here, and they get some news that Edmure has lost a battle against Jaime Lannister. He is captured, and the Lannisters have Riverrun under siege. Now, Robb really needs to get this thing going, and the Freys are being pretty ambiguous with their intentions. They have 4,000 men that they have not sent to Riverrun to help them yet, and the Freys are bannermen of the Tullys, so they really should be helping Riverrun. Catelyn does warn Robb a couple times about trusting the Freys. Robb promises Catelyn that he won't trust them, but we kind of know how that ends up happening. So Catelyn ends up going into parley with Lord Walder, and they make a deal. The Freys will let Robb's war host cross in exchange for Arya marrying one of his sons, Elmar, Robb marrying one of Walder's daughters, any that he decides, Olivar becoming Robb's squire and to be knighted, and they'll each leave around 400 troops at the Twins. This will bring Robb's host up to about 24,000. There's 20,000 of his own troops with 4,000 Freys, and they're leaving about 800 to 1,000 at the Twins as a garrison. Now, Catelyn convinces Robb to send Roose Bolton south with the diversion attack, and this ends up working against Robb and the North because Roose intentionally puts the other house's soldiers in a more vulnerable position, causing them to lose proportionately a lot more than his own troops, weakening some of his future possible enemies. It's debatable if Roose has already decided to betray Robb yet. It's more than likely he hasn't, but he's playing his cards close to his vest and setting himself up to have the best possible chances regardless of what happens. But what basically happens is Robb crosses at the Twins with his horsemen, travels south down through Old Stone, and he lures Jaime Lannister into the Battle of the Woods, capturing Jaime and crushing that host. And having a great victory. They eventually relieve Riverrun. They send Roose Bolton south, and just as Robb expected, Tywin Lannister sent his force north to attack. They won the battle, as in the Lannisters, forcing Roose Bolton back, but it was mission accomplished. He pulled Tywin north so he couldn't support his son Jaime. Jaime's captured, and that's a big feather in the cap for the Starks. Now, things go pretty well for Robb for a while, but eventually some pressing matters happen. That's for a different video. But Robb eventually really needs to get back north because Theon Greyjoy, who he sent to his real home in the Iron Islands to get support for the Starks from House Greyjoy, Theon ends up coming back and taking Winterfell. So Robb has a lot of things going wrong for him at this point in the story later. He needs to head back north. There's still a lot of Lannister forces in here. He needs to go back the way he came. Unfortunately, Robb has to break his promise of marrying one of Walder's daughters, and this plays into and is primarily one of the main reasons the Freys collude with the Lannisters and commit the Red Wedding. The reason Robb has to go back is because, again, this is the only crossing at the Green Fork other than the Ruby Ford, and the Ruby Ford is firmly under Lannister control, and he needs to get back quickly to consolidate his power back north and recapture Winterfell and come to the aid of his family. So I hope this clears up any possible confusion as to maybe why the Twins was important, some of Robb's thinking, and why he needed to use this crossing here. And as always, thank you for watching.